Hi guys, what's up? It's Julia and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 2022 year in review. I did this video last year and it was just so much fun to take a walk down memory lane and reflect on the year. I think I said the same thing in last year's video, but these are only the highlights of my year. Plenty of things happened this year that were very challenging and hard to go through, but I want to reflect back on the good times and remember all of the wonderful things that happened this year. So please keep in mind, this is not the full story, just the highlights. With that all being said, let's get into the video. The year started off pretty chill. I was just doing my normal dance classes and auditions, and then actually I got COVID at the end of January, which was such a bummer because I had such a fun weekend planned in Bakersfield. I was gonna spend time with a friend that I hadn't seen in forever, and we were going to go to JoJo's show. I had a ticket and everything. I had plans to meet up with some J-Team fans, and it was just going to be the best weekend, and then I got COVID, and it was so unfortunate. It literally came at the worst time. Grateful that I recovered easily and everything was fine. In February, I did my first Zoom with Lollipop Theater Network, which for those of you who don't know, is a wonderful organization that brings actors to kids who are currently hospitalized. Doing something with kids who are sick has always been something that I have wanted to do. And so getting this opportunity to read books and do a little Q&A and hopefully bring some joy to these kids who are literally going through the unimaginable was just the biggest reminder of why I want to do anything in the first place. That really was such a special experience. I've gotten to do a number of Zooms with them this year. It's so special to me, and I'm really grateful that I got involved with them this year. I got my cartilage pierced, which as you can see, it has since closed. It was a very, probably the most impulsive thing I've ever done, which I'm just not an impulsive person. And it was the week before I was turning 20 and I was having a total midlife crisis. Very interesting. All of my friends that I've spoken to who were turning 20 this year, they have all experienced the like crazy midlife crisis the week before they turned 20. My 20th birthday was so wonderful. I went to the beach at like 5 in the morning and watched the sunrise, and I journaled, and I was reading Oprah's book, and it was the best way to enter a new decade. And then I went to a workout class and I had lunch with my family, and then I think my parents and I went and saw Hamilton at the Pantages. And if I'm not working, all I want to do on my birthday is go witness some sort of art with family or friends. A friend of mine, Natalia, who I did a show with like 6 years ago, was just the standby for Elphaba in the Wicked National Tour, and so my mom and I went and saw her. Wicked was actually the first show that I ever saw on Broadway when I was like 8, and so I don't remember anything, and I hadn't seen it since. So getting to sit in that theater, I actually vlogged, so I'll link it down below, but that theater had like, I mean, this could totally be wrong, but I want to say something like 3,000 seats. Sitting there and watching a friend of mine play Elphaba was just beyond magical. This year, I have been so blessed to be in so many rooms with people that I deeply respect and admire. Looking back at this year, it blows my mind how many people I've gotten to meet or even just share air with in the same room, even if it's not like a full conversation. I'm so grateful for every room that I've had the chance to be in this year, where I've been reminded that my dreams are possible and that my dreams are real and achievable, and getting to stand next to someone who is doing what I want to do or has done it is just so infectious and inspiring. I got to meet Peyton List at her makeup launch party. I watched Peyton growing up on Jessie like everybody else, and so getting to meet her was so cool. In March, I took my first Soul Cycle class, which was really fun. I went to the studio in West Hollywood. It was like at 7:30 in the morning or something, so it was just so peaceful driving there. It was the nicest morning. I finally did something that I had been dreaming of doing for literally 5 years. And that is taking a voice lesson from Natalie Weiss. If you guys are into musical theater or singing, you know who this queen is. She's an incredible singer, she's an incredible performer, and she's an incredible voice teacher. And I had been watching her videos on YouTube of her teaching her students forever. And I finally one night was like, you know what? I'm gonna freaking do it, because I've wanted to do this for way too long, and I'm the only one stopping myself from doing it. And so I just sent an email through her website, and the next day her assistant got back to me, and before I knew it, I was literally on Zoom with Natalie Weiss herself. The entire time I was like, I cannot believe that she's talking to me. Like, I've been watching her on YouTube for so many years. I hosted a subscriber Zoom, which is always so much fun, and I just love talking to you guys and learning more about you. You guys are just the sweetest, and I am so grateful every day for your support. I worked as a PA for the first time on a talk show, and it was such a cool experience. I did 2 vlogs from that, so those will be linked down below. And it made me appreciate a lot more what goes on behind the scenes, because when you're on set and you're the actor, you just don't realize how many people are running around doing a million things to make your job easier. And everyone is important on a set. Being a PA really taught me that everyone's job is necessary to keep the machine running, and it's hard to have perspective of that until you work on the other side. In April, I saw an amazing play called Hooded or Being Black for Dummies. My friend Claire was in it, and she was amazing. But I really don't see many plays. I see mostly musicals, and seeing that play made me really want to see more plays because it was so impactful and I was just really blown away. I also got my thirds pierced, which I am so happy with. I love them so much, and I think I'm done with piercings for a while now. My grandpa turned 80 and we celebrated by going to Italy with the entire side of my dad's family. It was wild. We stayed in a villa with the whole family, and we explored. We went to an amusement park. We had a private chef come teach us how to make pasta. I got an internship with a talent agency, which didn't last long. I think I was there for like maybe a day or 2. The people were so wonderful. It just wasn't a fit in my schedule, and so I just wasn't going to continue. I learned a huge lesson about just reaching out and taking the initiative, because getting the internship was actually really easy and a very seamless process. In May, I staged some scenes of Macbeth, which was so much fun. I ran into a director that I'd worked with when I was 12 at a show, and she was like, "Oh my god, Julia, can you stage some scenes of Macbeth?" And I was like, sure, even though I had never staged anything before. I just love putting the puzzle together, and it's really fulfilling. So that was a really cool opportunity that just kind of totally randomly came up. I took a dance class from nickelodeon, which you guys know I love her so much, and she is one of my biggest inspirations. We had auditions for Shrek and started rehearsals, and this is through the special needs theater group that I work with, and I got to choreograph the show. I choreographed Willy Wonka last December, and then I got to choreograph Shrek this summer. I experienced my first ever drag queen show at JoJo's 19th birthday party. The Siwas throw the best parties. Kira came out to LA to spend the week with me, and because she lives in Vancouver, I don't ever get to see her. The last time I saw her was literally when we wrapped the J Team. We just had the best week ever. Some crazy things happened that I'm sure one day we'll talk about on the internet, but we had the best week ever, even with all the craziness, and I miss her so much. She's killing it right now. In June, I did another Zoom with Lollipop, and we had more rehearsals for Shrek. I surprised a bunch of J-Team fans at a local dance studio and taught them a combo to Out of the Park, which was so much fun. My dad and I went to New York, and this was definitely one of my favorite New York trips ever. I got to spend time with family, which of course is always so special because I don't get to see my family very often. I got to see my friend Julia make her Broadway debut in Into the Woods. She was perfect, and the whole cast was literally beyond brilliant, and it was just the best night. My singing teacher, Desi Oakley, was doing a concert at Green Room 42 of music from a musical that she's working on, and that was so special. I was only in the city for maybe 3, no, not even 3, I think like 1.5 or 2 days. So I was running around like a crazy person, and I'm proud to say my navigation skills were much better than previous trips. I don't even think I really got lost. I was on it, and I was very proud. But I was just running from friend to friend, and I did an in-person lesson with Natalie Weiss, which I will never recover from, and I got to see Desi, and I got to see just so many people that I love, and it was just the greatest. In July, J-Team DVDs came out in Target, which was the craziest experience. I found out by waking up one morning and seeing on Instagram that the DVDs were in Target. So I drove in my pajamas to Target at like 8 in the morning, and I just stood there as the guy was stacking the DVDs onto the shelf, and it was wild. I went to Colorado with my mom and brother because my brother had a mountain biking race, and it was super cool because it was the first time that I got to see my brother race in person. August is when things started to really pick up and get pretty busy. I had a very exciting call for a really cool new project. One day I'll be able to tell you guys more about it. It's very much in the developmental stage right now. Seeing friends in LA, and I was driving to an audition or something, I don't know. But I just pulled over and I remember being on the phone and just like, it was such an exciting moment. I had my first few rounds of auditions back in person for musical theater, which was crazy, which was really weird, but not weird at the same time. I attended a screening in LA for the movie I Love My Dad, and I got to see Claudia Sulewski, who is a YouTuber, I'm sure you guys know, but she's a YouTuber and she's amazing and I'm a huge fan of her. Everyone in the theater was a huge fan of her. Phineas was there too. It was just so cool. We had Tech Week for Shrek and 2 weekends of performances, which I did vlog, so those will be linked in the description. But the shows were just so much fun. Sometimes there's a point in the rehearsal process where things just kind of feel a little like, I don't know what the word is. It's not slow, but just kind of like repetitive. But once you get to the theater and you start putting on costumes and makeup and you're just in the space and doing the thing in front of an audience, everything clicks. The best memories from theater are always backstage during shows or during tech rehearsal. And I just had so much fun and I'm so glad that I have it all on video. In September, my mom and I went to the Amundsen to see the national tour of The Prom because a childhood friend of mine was in it. And I was sitting in my seat doing the choreography because what we did in the movie was the same choreography that they did on Broadway and the same choreography that they did on the tour. Anytime I get to see a friend from my childhood or a friend that I did theater with growing up in a tour on Broadway, on TV, in movies. It's the craziest thing. I started teaching my special needs dance class again on Zoom, and we did that every week, I'm pretty sure, until the end of the year. I had a really fun weekend with a bunch of new friends for a new project, and we did a photo shoot, which I vlogged, so that will be linked down below. I got to go to the James Corden show. It was so cool. I'm such a fan of James Corden. I'm so sad his show is ending, and I'm just really grateful that I got to go. I was a guest on a podcast called Off the Charts that will be coming out in January. I had the craziest day. I had a dance audition in the morning, and then I saw my friend Rishi in Jagged Little Pill at the Pantages at night with our friend Katie. So my friends Bryant, Katie, and Rishi, I met in line at an open call for Dear Evan Hansen, I think in like 2019, and we became really good friends in the however many hours we were standing online. So we kept in contact, and when I tell you, they are so sweet and supportive, and Rishi is currently playing Phoenix in the national tour of Jagged Little Pill. Unfortunately, Bryant was out of town, but Katie and I went and saw him, and he was incredible. Again, it's the craziest thing to see a friend, especially a friend that you met on an open call line, up there killing it as a lead in a national tour at the Pantages. So it was just such an amazing night. October was probably my favorite month of this year. I performed with Always on Stage at an event supporting the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. We did a little medley and we sang my song My Place. I played it on the piano and they all sung along to the chorus. I started the Actor Diaries series, which for those of you who don't know, every month I post a new episode in this series where I vlog anytime I'm doing anything actory related, or I'm in LA doing something fun. Anything that's a part of the actor's journey, I vlog and I compile it into one video, and that is the episode for the month. These videos are so much fun to make. I've seriously had the best time. I went to a book signing event for the Netflix movie The School for Good and Evil, which I did vlog, so that will be linked down below. But that was so cool. I'm a huge fan of Sophia Wiley, so getting to see her was very, very inspiring. Actually, the whole weekend was about The School for Good and Evil because I also went to the premiere with Lucy, and that was amazing. I don't know how this happened, but I ended up sitting like 5 seats down from Kerry Washington when we were watching the movie. So I was watching her watch herself, but the movie was amazing. The premiere was the coolest thing ever. I ran into a bunch of friends that I hadn't seen in so long, and it was just a very, very cool night. I had a shoot for a project that I'm a part of, and I did vlog it. I love the vlog, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it because I know how much you enjoy seeing a day in the life on set. It is all ready to go. I just have to wait to post it until what we filmed comes out. I saw The Addams Family with my mom and brother, and I don't think we've ever laughed more seeing a show. I hosted Lollipop's Halloween bingo, which was really fun, and we all dressed up, and it was just, again, anytime I do anything with them, I'm a happy camper. One of my biggest dreams for as long as I can remember has been for someone to do a cover of one of my original songs, and a very sweet subscriber named Kevin, hi Kevin if you're watching this, He made the most beautiful cover of my song, My Place. It truly is a dream come true. In November, I had a rehearsal and a performance at a military base. I went to the Kelly Clarkson show, which was so cool, and I got to sit in the studio audience. Dove Cameron was one of the guests, and I'm a huge Dove Cameron fan, so I was completely fangirling. My mom and I took a trip to the cat shelter and came home with 2 kittens. We adopted Nacho and Nala in November. They are crazy, but we love them. Lucy and I attended the Teen Vogue Summit in LA, which was so cool. I will link that vlog down below. Lily Singh was one of the guests, and I'm a huge fan of her. So I was honestly getting a little emotional when she was up on the panel because she's just inspired me for so long. My grandparents who live in New York came into town, and we went on a little weekend vacation to Newport, which was so nice. Again, we don't get to see them that often, so it was really nice to spend some quality time with them. I took my dad to the SAG screening of the new movie Hustle with Adam Sandler. We lucked out because we didn't really get there super early, but we got really good seats, and Adam Sandler did a Q&A after the movie, so it was very cool. And lastly, December. I went to my first ever stadium concert. I went to Jingle Ball with some friends. We got to sit in the 5th row on the floor. I know I'm very spoiled now with that being my first concert, but it was crazy. Dove Cameron performed, Dua Lipa, Pitbull, Ava Max, Khalid. I got to have the most wonderful conversation with James Corden at the SAG screening for his new show called Mammals. He was doing a Q&A, and Billy Porter was the moderator. My mom and I are huge fans of both Billy Porter and James Corden, so we were just having the best day, and that'll all be in this month's episode of The Actor Diaries. I can't even believe that I'm saying this, but I saw the queen herself, Renee Rapp, perform her second ever show. She did 2 in one night in LA because the first one sold out in like 2 minutes, and I was so sad because I wanted to get tickets to her first show, but obviously it was sold out. And then she added a second one, and I just saw it right away and got a ticket. It is such a joy to watch her soar right now and really get the recognition that she deserves because, first of all, she's just like beyond talented, but I feel like she's someone who's been working her way up for so many years, and music is something that she's always wanted to do, and it's so cool to see someone literally be living their dreams. I went to a screening of Abbott Elementary, which is a show that I really enjoy, and what was crazy is that I got to sit in the front row, and the whole cast was doing a Q&A afterward. Again, that will all be in this month's episode of The Actor Diaries. I saw the national tour of the Book of Mormon for the first time at the Pantages. My grandma turned 80, and we took another trip to Newport, this time with my mom's side of the family. It was the best weekend ever. I've never seen my grandma so happy, and that just made all of us so happy. And getting to spend time with my aunt and uncle and my little cousin who's 4, we all just had the best time and made really, really special memories. Later this month, my family is going to be hosting a holiday party for the special needs group, so I'm really excited for that. I'm sure that will end up being another highlight from this year as well. That is it for today's video. Those are my highlights from the year. It's been an amazing year. It's been a transformative year. My intention going into 2022, and the word that I had in the forefront of my mind for this year was authenticity. I am so proud of the personal growth and discoveries that have happened this year, and I'm really excited for 2023. My goal for 2023, well, one of them is to start taking action a little sooner when I find myself really frustrated or really anxious about not being where I want to be. And I am so grateful for all the highs and lows because, as cheesy as it sounds, it's all helped me get to where I am today. And I'm very, very grateful for the life that I live. So with that being said, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys have had a wonderful year. Comment down below your highlights from the year. I would love to hear them. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!